Hello and welcome to my channel. Here I review new movies and television shows. Today, I want to talk about Disney's new live-action remake, Peter Pan and Wendy. For those of you living under a rock, it's a story about three children being taken on an adventure to an island called Neverland by an immortal boy named Peter Pan. Directed and written by David Lowery and co-written by Toby Halbrooks, Peter Pan and Wendy is a short retelling of the classic tale. It focuses more on Hook and how he became evil than the adventures of Peter Pan and the Darlings. The story starts out the same as the original by introducing the Darlings, Wendy, John, and Michael. They're children in Victorian London, and Wendy is about to head off to boarding school. Horrified by the prospect of getting older, Wendy wishes to never grow up. That night, Peter Pan appears and the adventure begins. They fly to Neverland, meet the Lost Boys and Princess Tiger Lily, and face off against Captain Hook and his band of pirates. The story is fairly short and doesn't cover all of the original adventures, instead focusing on Hook and his relationship with Peter and Wendy's journey of acceptance. We get a few plot points from the original play and a basic introduction to some of the more famous characters. Aside from Wendy, Peter, and Hook, all of them end up being relegated to the background, and the film doesn't attempt to flesh out any of them or their stories. The main storyline is easy to follow but fails to draw the viewer in and give them a reason to care. It doesn't spend much time with Peter or Wendy, building them up as the leads. Instead, it spends a lot of time showing Hook in a sympathetic light. They then go back on that perspective and head down the original plot lines, and the tone of these two parts don't match well together. Hook ends up being a completely understandable character, and despite Peter Pan being played by a 10-year-old, I kind of hated him. Hook had every reason to want to kill that immortal turd. Exciting moments do happen regularly in this story, but a lot of the impact of those scenes is lost due to how little you care about the people involved. The cast does an okay job with what they're given, but the film tends to focus on the adult actors rather than the child actors and doesn't give anyone other than Hook, Peter, and Wendy any real emotions. Alexander Molony and Ever Anderson as Peter and Wendy get to do a little bit of emoting and back and forth dialogue throughout. They both do a solid job of their role, but really don't get enough time to make their characters unique. Jude Law as Hook, on the other hand, gets to do a fully nuanced performance and an incredible villain. We see how full of rage he is and how much he hates Peter. We also get to see him open up and show his vulnerable side. He's charismatic, funny at times, and by the end of the film you genuinely care for him and want him to at least see the light and redeem himself. Though I kind of wanted him to just push Pan into the water and call it a day. Visually, the film makes use of real sets and a little bit of CGI to create a couple of different locations. The real sets are well done with lots of detail put into them to make them feel authentic. The CGI is used sparingly and blends well with the practical. They mostly use it for flying scenes, a giant crocodile, and a flying ship. Film is fairly straightforward as far as the visual journey goes, but there were a few exciting moments here and there. Sword fights between Hook and Pan were the most fun. They made use of editing tricks, some decent choreography, and practical stunts to pull these action moments together, and they're exciting. Sound-wise, the film is scored and each and every moment of the film is filled with fantastical adventure music. It backs each and every emotion and does wonders in filling the gaps between dialogue. It follows the flow of the story precisely and comes together with the visuals often to create cinematic moments. There are also a few musical numbers in the film. There are 5 of them. They come out of nowhere, but they're all well done. The pirates get 2 sea shanties, and Mrs. Darling, Wendy, and Hook all sing a lullaby. 2 of the songs are significant to the story, the other 3 are just flavor moments. My favorite was the Pirates' Execution Shanty. Overall, this felt like a decent rendition of Peter Pan. I really liked Hook as a character and how they fleshed him out. I don't think they did enough with Peter Pan, Wendy, or any of the other characters really, but there's enough here for children to enjoy and get the themes and messages of the original. For adults, there's a lot less, but you can still enjoy Hook's story and the production quality. The action is fun, there's a bit of flying and magic, soundtrack is wonderful, and Jude Law puts on a great performance. It's not impressing anyone with its writing or dialogue, but it is a kid's movie based on a kid's tale. 7 out of 10. And remember, those are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Bye-bye!